Hey guys, Jono here, and today I'm going to show you how you can shoot in front of a window or a doorway and have both the talent and the window exposed properly. Shooting in front of a doorway can always be a difficult task. No matter how you expose, that doorway is probably always going to be overexposed. But you can see here that I've tried my best to expose for the talent, but even so, that doorway is still getting overexposed and it's just looking nasty. So you could try dropping the exposure and expose for the doorway, but by doing this, the rest of your image is going to be way too dark and those shadows are going to start getting real noisy real fast. Now, if you know your way around After Effects, you could probably stitch these two shots together, which in some instances will work great, but for this example, it doesn't really work. It just looks artificial and it looks like we stitched two shots together, and that is not what you want your audience to be focusing on. Also, if you can achieve this look in camera, why should you be fixing it in post? That should always be your last resort, especially if you can achieve what you're trying to do in camera. So what I did was expose that doorway and then lit our talent accordingly to match it to the scene. Now, you are going to need some pretty powerful lights to be able to do this, but I only worked with what I had, so I used a couple of soft boxes and an LED panel, made it work, and it just about did the job. So I took that first softbox and I put it just out of frame of camera. Now, when I say just out of frame, it was as close as I could get it without it being in shot. This was so I could use as much light as possible to bring myself out of the shadows. Now, this did definitely help, but we still had an issue with that background. It was too dark and still too noisy. So I took the second softbox, lit the background, and that got rid of most of the noise and brought out most of those shadows from the darkness and helped really balance that image. This made a big difference and I was really pleased with how this shot looked, but it was still missing something. So I took a small LED panel, put a CTO filter on there and put it to just right of camera, pointing back at the talent. This just brought a bit of warmth to the side of our talent that would be coming from that sunlight through that doorway. But I'm still not 100% happy with this shot. Ideally, you could use some more powerful lights inside to help balance out that exposure a bit more, but with using what I had available, this is what I could achieve. To be honest though, when you look back at those steps that we took, it made a massive difference. Exposing for that doorway, lighting the talent, then lighting the background, and finally adding that LED panel for some warmth made a big difference. It looks a lot more realistic and cinematic than what we originally had by overexposing that doorway. This just shows that you don't need expensive gear to achieve the right look. Sure, if we had some brighter lights, this may look a bit better, but compare it to what we originally had, and this is a massive improvement. Too many people fixate and get hung up on not having the same gear as the professionals, saying that they can't shoot anything because they don't have the latest camera, or saying that they can't light a scene because they don't have a lighting kit. But this is the complete wrong attitude to have, because you can learn all the same techniques by having cheap gear or even using household items to achieve the same look. And then when you actually come around to using this higher end gear, you know how to use it to the best of its ability. So I hope you enjoyed this video guys, smash that like button if you did, and if you want to see some more lighting tips, a couple of weeks ago I made a video on making a shot look cinematic on a budget. Link for that will be at the end of the video, but my name's Jono and I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to see more and I'll see you guys next week.